Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Frankfurt Book Fair and welcome to our discussion this morning on Friday. It is my pleasure in the name of the International Board on Books for Young People, IBBY, situated in Basel, Switzerland, to introduce you to our discussion today. We like to introduce you to one of the most prestigious awards in children's book business, Hans Christian Andersen Award. Allow me to introduce to you this wonderful, amazing international panel. First of all, ladies first, of course, we have Junko Yokota from Japan and United States. She is a specialist in international children's and youth literature. And if I'm not mistaken, Junko, you have been member of the Hans Christian Andersen Award already twice. Yes. And then we have Wally de Doncker to my right from Belgium, himself author and, yes, children's book promoter. And I'm happy to introduce you to Roger de Mello from Brazil. And directly to my left, we have David Almond from Great Britain, winner of the Hans Christian Andersen Award in 2010.
When you talk about the establishment of IBBY, we have to talk about Jelle Lepman, of course. She was born in Stuttgart in 1891 and she died in 1970. And she became politically active as a journalist, and she is the founder of IBBY. In 1936 she was forced to emigrate from Nazi Germany to Great Britain, and she became a British citizen. And she worked during the war for the Foreign Office and for the BBC and also for the American broadcasting services in Europe. And after the war, she got engaged as an advisor for questions relating to women and children for the American headquarters. So she came back to Germany and she looked at the children's books and she saw a lot of Nazification in the children's books. And that was a real problem. A lot of books were full of Nazi philosophy. And she wanted to change it. And one of the major measures was to have an international exhibition, an exhibition of children's books of different countries, 20 countries I think, and it was in Munich in Haus der Kunst. A lot of people will know it, right in the middle, and so it was highly a success. And this success led to the establishment of the International Youth Library in Munich in 1949, which she led in the early years. And with Jelle Lepman as fount of ideas, she led the creation of IBBY in 1953 followed, and then the institution of the Hans Christian Andersen Award in 1956. And afterwards to include illustrators, because in the beginning of the Andersen Award it was only for authors, and in 1966 include illustrators as well. So the first mission of IBBY is creating international understanding through children's books. But a lot of authoritarian regimes has problems there. Not only the Nazis had problems with children's books, but we still face it today. There was a high need for high quality children's literature after the war, and to work towards a new beginning. And that's why the Hans Christian Andersen Award was established, to bring light to writers with a high standard. And Jelle Lepman said, okay, the Hans Christian Andersen Award is a symbol of our ideas, of the IBBY ideas.
In an authoritarian regime, about books being apart from people. And I grew in this generation, and it was all filled with hidden narratives. I am an illustrator, and I used to draw through these ideas, and it was the ideal of many friends from Ana Maria and Lígia Bojunga, just like Oscar Niemeyer and people who thought the education and who thought the culture and thought the imagetic narrative. So it's, for us, Hans Christian Andersen Award and IBBY, a possibility in a country that gives each time less space on the media for the book, for the children books, possibility to get in touch with, to open these, to open the people minds, and to, and it's so important for this reason, as it's important for our knowing Brazil, and I believe that the same for other countries, to be part of a connection, a web that thinks, knowing each other, the difference between each other through the children's stories, through the children imagetic narratives as well.
A telephone call came and I just almost fell off my chair because I was told that I'd actually won. And it was fantastic. And, you know, ever since I became a children's writer, you know, traveling the world, I met all these fantastic people involved in IBBY, and I heard more and more about the Hans Christian Andersen Award and about how it draws together so many people from so many different occupations, writers, illustrators, academics, people who are interested, governments, reading agencies. And in England, and I think in the West often, we live in a kind of culture that says, oh, you know, maybe books don't matter anymore. And then they follow it up by saying things like, and kids aren't really interested in books anymore, which is just total rubbish. You know, I travel around and I meet so many children who are passionate about books, who believe in books. So I'm a real optimist. But I think those kids are living in a world which is often kind of very easily pessimistic about books and literacy. Oh, it doesn't matter, kids aren't interested in reading anymore. And I think what this prize does and what IBBY does is to counteract all of those kind of negative leanings and to do something really positive. And it's a kind of confidence in, you know, books themselves and storytelling. But more importantly, it really is a kind of confidence in young people. You know, to say to young people, you can grow up, you can live in a world which actually values you, and we'll have books that we make for you which value you, and it allows children to take part as well. So it seems to me, you know, this is a really important international organization for lots of reasons. You know, as an artist, you know, it's really important artistically, but it seems to me it's really, really important culturally and socially and politically. So, you know, it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing.
We can see how important the prize is, but also how wonderful it is for us who are involved in children's book business, and especially the people who are working so hard for all the projects of IBBY, to have nominees and finalists that are also role models in this business.
What happened is that jury members are selected by the national sections around the world who can each nominate a potential jurist, and from that pool of potential jurists, the jury president and the executive committee together will decide, and the executive committee endorses and ultimately selects the panel of people who will become the jurists. Each national section then is invited to nominate an author and an illustrator for the award. Most national sections that do submit both, but not necessarily both. Some national sections may only submit an author or only an illustrator.
Have you been involved from your national sections in the creation of your dossiers yourself? Have you contributed something?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
The first one, there were many people involved with FNLIJ members, and but we decided to do in a very artisanal, how do you say, handicraft way, the first and the second one, and to make them a little bit different. And it's wonderful because for us is a way to think about ourselves and to see ourselves through the outside.
But I think one of the things that, you know, in the UK, I think not enough is known about the Hans Christian Andersen Award. I think the profile of it needs to be raised, and the kind of the international nature of it needs to be highlighted more. When I won it, there was some fantastic attention. So newspapers like The Guardian and The Times really took an interest and did features about me and about the Hans Christian Andersen Award. And a wonderful magazine in the UK called Books for Keeps did a very big feature about me and about the Hans Christian Andersen Award. There's always a sense, you know, speaking as a person from the UK, that the UK can often be very kind of hidebound. You know, we speak English, so everybody else needs to speak English. And I think there needs to be a big push. One of the things that really needs to happen is that we need more translations. A lot of these people who've won the Hans Christian Andersen Award haven't yet been translated into the UK yet, and I think that needs to happen more. And this is one of the things that, you know, we'll hope will be the benefits of the ongoing nature of the Hans Christian Andersen Award.
The Hans Christian Andersen Award, it's the prestigious award in international children's book business. But of course there are many others who are also important for special countries or who aim at a special aspect. For several years now we also do have the ALMA Award, the Astrid Lindgren Memorial Award. I would like to know, how would you describe the relationship between these two awards, and do you think that they might complement each other in a way?
Yeah, I think so. Some people think there is a competition between Hans Christian Andersen Award and ALMA, because ALMA has a lot of money, but there are real differences between the awards. Hans Christian Andersen Award is a real international award. ALMA is a national award with international impact. That's something else, I think. In the Hans Christian Andersen Award, we have an international jury, people of different regions of the world, Asia, Africa, America, Europe. And ALMA Award is a national jury, only with Swedish people. That's a real difference, I think. The Hans Christian Andersen Award got different values. When you have someone from Asia, he looks at another way to children's books and illustrations than someone from Europe or from someone from the US. So, and it will, Hans Christian Andersen Award has international values, and I think the ALMA Award, I've been to the presentation 2 years ago of the ALMA Award in Stockholm, and the Minister of Culture said, okay, we want to reflect the ALMA Award to the Swedish values. That's something else, you know? Hans Christian Andersen Award, international values, Swedish values. So we have no money and a lot of money for the ALMA Award, but I think it's right. IBBY is not an organization to give money to authors and illustrators. That's not what we want to do. We want to promote reading. That's something else, you know? And there's for IBBY, the nominating bodies, only one nominating body per country, the national sections of IBBY. So you have one author every 2 years, one illustrator as a candidate. And yesterday we've been here for ALMA, and 207 candidates. That's really a lot. Okay. And then, yeah, the history of IBBY. We exist almost 60 years. The Hans Christian Andersen Award from 1956. ALMA Award exists 10 years. So, and the difference is also for Hans Christian Andersen Award is only for authors and illustrators. Once there was somebody else who won the Hans Christian Andersen Award, the first award, not Eleanor Fortune, only Eleanor Fortune, but also Jelle Lepman, because of her work in the international children's books world was very important. And for the ALMA Award, not you have candidates, illustrators, authors, but also institutions and reading promoters. That's something else. You see, a lot of differences, but we are glad with that. We want to cooperate, we want to work together in future, and that is one of the aims of IBBY. We want to bring light to writers and illustrators of a high standard, like David Almond and Roger Mello and a lot of others. That's what we want. And ALMA does it all right. And also Astrid Lindgren was at the beginning of IBBY why should it be a competition? It's good like it is, I think, and so we want to cooperate in future.
One of the things I really think about with the Hans Christian Andersen, is that we get to hear from each national section, here is an author, here is an illustrator we would like the world to know about. Our country stands behind this author, this illustrator in a way that we want the world to know about them, which is a very different thing than what gets translated and sent around the world, which is often a commercial decision. The people who get translated and published are often based on decisions about what will sell. And so for me to study the Hans Christian Andersen materials makes me realize that these are people who from their countries have been put up there as being very worthy.
Oh, I just wish that the Hans Christian Andersen Award continues to flourish and continues to get better known, that children know about it. It just does this remarkable thing, which is what stories and art do anyway, which is to cross all kinds of frontiers, all kinds of boundaries.
We want to have all the children in the world have the access to high-quality children's literature. That's important, I think.